guys, and welcome back to another episode of our Pokemon Battle Series, the School of Hard Knocks. So throughout this episode, like every other, we'll be jumping on to the Pokemon Global Link Battle Spotlight, playing out of the Championship Battle Rules, which are the equivalent rule sets of the VGC 2019 season. We'll get it right. Hope you're all well, having a great start to the week, and looking forward to getting into a brand new team that we have on the screen in front of you right now, which is consisting of Kyogre, Tornadus, Incineroar. I know we said last week that we would not be bringing Incineroar this week, but there's really good reasons for it. We need it in this team, and it is being played everywhere, but there is good reasons for that. We'll get into why it's in this team as we play through the episodes this week and next, and hopefully it makes sense. But we will, I promise wholeheartedly that we will have a team without Incineroar soon. I'm not going to say it for our next one because I already have a team lined up for our next one, and we might need it in that as well. But soon we will. I promise. And that wasn't like crossing, like breaking the promise or anything. That was a promise. Anyway, on to the rest of the team. We've got Dusk Mane Necrozma. We've got an odd pick that you don't see so much, but I think really good in this format if you can get it working right, is Lurantis and the Tapu Lele. So we've got the restricted pair of Kyogre, Dusk Mane Necrozma, really good pairing together. The Kyogre there, we have got Choice Scarf on it. We've got to play it at some point. It is popular, it's being played. It's going to be good for you guys to see how it operates, how it is operating, how people play against it. So it's good for that reason alone. We've got the Dusk Mane Necrozma, as I said, as our second restricted pair here. So really benefits from the rain from Kyogre. Kyogre protects it from Groudon. It does really threaten it quite heavily. We've got nice check to Xerneas there with the Dusk Mane Necrozma. Obviously, Xerneas Groudon is a thing, so we need to be careful around that because the Groudon is an issue. We have got Intimidate though with Incineroar. Got Tailwind support, Taunt support, and I was really thinking about Rain Dance on Tornadus, but the thing is, like, it's either a toss-up with that or Protect. And I think because Fake Out's such a prevalent thing in this format, turn 1 especially, it's not grounded, it can't really take advantage of the psychic terrain to get around that Fake Out. You need the Protect, otherwise it can just get taken down pretty easy, double into pretty easy, and then you lose a big support member of your team. Taunt's really useful for shutting down Xerneas, obviously the Prankster. We've got to be a bit careful when the psychic terrain's out in the field, obviously, so it does conflict a little bit there, but you know, if my opponent hasn't got that option, then that's quite nice. Then rounding off with Incineroar brings Fake Out support, Intimidate support. We've got the Tapu Lele for terrain support as well, supporting that Dusk Mane Necrozma and boosting its psychic type attacks. And then rounding off with the Lurantis, which is going to really enjoy the Trick Room along with the Incineroar when we get it set up with the Dusk Mane Necrozma. So some nice things going on here, and we'll get into it straight away. So as always, if you enjoy the content and you enjoy the videos, do leave a like, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you stay up to date not only with the battle series but all the guides and stuff that we have coming out at the minute. So I guess it's time to put some music on, isn't it? So let's get the volume up. Whoa, we don't want it on the computer as well, do we? We don't want it on the computer. We don't want like double volume, double music. Let's go with League Title Defense to kick us off today. But looking forward to playing with this team. I've had a few games with the team already just to kind of get used to it a little bit, so I'm a bit more acquainted with it. And I wish I'd kind of recorded those games as well, because they were some really good games. But hopefully it continues into this week. And like I say, we're going to continue on with playing teams for 2 weeks. It gives us a real chance to get kind of a good understanding of the teams, how they operate, where we might want to tweak things, if we do tweak things, and just overall how it operates. But we have our first opponent of the day, 1700 rated player, I believe, 2-4. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but anyway. Playing a team of Xerneas Groudon. Good. It's going to be a good test for us to start with. Drifblim, Tapu Lele, the Kartana, and Incineroar. So we've got definite Tailwind support from the Drifblim, but we can taunt it if we want with that Tornadus. The Lele, going to be a bit awkward to play against, but we do have the Scarf Kyogre, so as long as the Lele is not scarfed, and we'll be able to tell who gets a terrain up. Rain up, and I'm kind of going off a lead here with Kyogre Tornadus. That's why I'm kind of leaning towards. Outside of that, I think we need Intimidate support, especially for the Kartana, the Incineroar, and definitely that Groudon. And do I bring Dusk Mane Necrozma here? I mean, it's very good against the Xerneas. Doesn't really do much against the Incineroar. Doesn't do much against Kartana. Doesn't do much against the Groudon. So kind of put off there a little bit from it. And I think Lurantis, even though it's very slow, it could probably do a lot more in this match, especially with the rain support protecting it from the fire type attacks that potentially are the more threatening things to it. So I'm kind of leaning more towards bringing that than I am bringing Necrozma in this game, even though Necrozma is so good against the Xerneas. This is what I mean about, this is what I was saying at the start. The Xerneas Groudon court is super popular, and the Groudon builds, like especially this build here, like we're identifying in the team preview there, the Groudon, the Kartana, the Incineroar will not do much against with Dusk Mane Necrozma, and they can probably do decent damage to it really. The thing is, as well, even though Lele and Xerneas are things that you really want to bring it against, my opponent can see that as well, so you know they might change their mind with what they bring as well. So it's always that. We're going to see Tapu Lele and Drifblim come up for my opponent. Going to see the Psychic Terrain come up after the rain, so that's quite nice. I'm going to see the Psychic Seed activate on the Drifblim, but we can just go for a Water Spout and taunt into the Drifblim to stop it setting up, changing the weather or anything like that. So let's go for that. Let's see how we get on. So there's a taunt. We will stop this Drifblim, even though it's had the Unburden boost. Obviously it is faster than everything else. Can't use Tailwind, so that's good. We're going to get a free Water Spout. Hopefully this is enough to take down the Lele. Oh, it's got the Focus Sash. Of course it has. Tapu Lele going for a taunt back. That's so good for us. That is so good. That is exactly what we want. That is the... So we can just Water Spout again. And, do we... I feel like the Groudon probably comes in here, but do I mind that too much? Really? I mean, we're going to get both target. We'll probably get the Lele and the Blim. Well, definitely if they stay in. It's just predicting if the Groudon comes in here. We could Tailwind. I don't really know if that's going to get us anywhere. I'm probably better off just going for a Hurricane into the Drifblim slot, if anything. Oh, we're not going to see any switches, so it's going to go for Acrobatics. I mean, we could have switched Incineroar there. It would have weakened Acrobatics damage, but yeah. I kind of just wanted to Hurricane there in case the Groudon did come in, because it's likely even in the sun we take both the Drifblim and the Tapu Lele down, so that extra potential Hurricane damage onto the Groudon's very, very useful. The problem we've got now is if the Xerneas comes in, we can't taunt it, which is a big issue. So Groudon's going to be one. Is it going to be the Xerneas as the other? It's going to be the Kartana. That's fine. That is fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine with me. I mean, I really don't mind that at all, because I think we pull a double switch here, if I'm like completely honest. Bring in Incineroar and we will bring in Lurantis, because if we get Tornadus and Kyogre back on the field, we've got Origin Pulse and Hurricane, and it can deal with the Groudon and the Kartana pretty easily. So, yeah, I think we'll be able to wrap this up. And the Dusk Mane Necrozma, even though we didn't bring it, it's done a job in putting off my opponent bringing the Xerneas. If the Xerneas had been in the back here, especially because we were taunted, which would have been a nice way for my opponent to kind of set the stage for the Xerneas coming in, so we can't taunt it for it to Geomancy in front of us, then it would have been a lot more tricky, I think. So we'll pull the double switch, we'll get the Intimidate with our Incineroar onto both targets, knock off coming into Lurantis is going to knock off our Guava Berry, Incineroar like a ninja dodging the blades there, which was nice. And what do we do here? We could switch in Tornadus and just go for... Because we could cycle the Intimidate as well, that's another option, but I really kind of feel like we just go into the Kartana with a Flare Blitz, and let's go Leaf Blade as well. Or do we double the Kartana? Because the Groudon probably protects here. And the Kartana could be sashed, so we could knock off and Flare Blitz into the Kartana. Might see the Groudon. But my opponent just forfeits. Just the forfeit. So very good game to my first opponent of the day, and a nice way for us to get a win. So kick us off in style. So let's move on to our next game and continue this on, and hopefully we can bring the Dusk Mane Necrozma as well, because it's always like Kyogre we've played on the channel before, so Dusk Mane Necrozma in my eyes is really kind of like the star of the show almost. So you want to bring it as the kind of the feature Pokemon, like a feature film or something like that. But it's always a shame when you can't bring it. But hopefully in this next one we'll be able to give it a run out and stretch its legs for the rest of the week, get it warmed up. And hopefully it doesn't take too long to find a next opponent as well. So there we go. Noob NPG from Spain, 1621 rating player, playing a team of Tapu Koko, Groudon, Kyogre, Incineroar, Bronzong, and the Ferrothorn. So we've got double, I was going to say primals there, they're not quite primals just yet. We've got the restricted dual core of Groudon and Kyogre, so both weathers there, supported by the Bronzong that's going to be the Trick Room set, supporting probably both primals. You got Tapu Koko as well. In this build it kind of like really screams like Tapu Koko is maybe sashed, because like outside of the Ferrothorn there isn't really any solid ways around Kyogre, other than like you've got to get the Trick Room up, and you're denied the Trick Room, then it's you're kind of weak to Scarf Kyogre to a certain extent. I know you've got your own Kyogre, but you've got Pokemon as well to like do stuff with. I think Lurantis here is going to be very good for us, because if the Trick Room goes up it can damage the Incineroar, the Ferrothorn for really good damage, and both Kyogre and Groudon, and it can also deal with Tapu Koko to a certain extent. So I think we need Incineroar and Lurantis. I'm kind of tempted to lead off with Kyogre, and yeah, I think we go Kyogre, I think we go Incineroar, Necrozma, and Lurantis. Yeah, let's go with that. So my opponent's got enough. Have they got Fake? Yeah, they got the Incineroar, haven't they? Yes. So they have got Fake out support. But if our Fake out support's faster, then it makes it a bit easier to operate with Kyogre anymore. But we may see the Groudon come out from my opponent, and we do. Which is fine, to be honest. There's that Drizzle. I mean, one option we could do is I kind of like I'm thinking we could just fake out the Tapu Koko and Water Spout or Origin Pulse, but at the same time it's slightly risky, isn't it? I think we're better off bringing Lurantis in, and do we fake out or do we switch out? Because we could U-turn in on the Koko slot, because we should take a Precipice Blades. Or do I just play it safe and just fake out the Groudon? I think, yeah, we're not going to play anything too fancy. It's nice having Incineroar and back to bring in to utilise that fake out later in the game. Especially when, you know, Kyogre's not one of those Pokemon that you kind of freely want to just throw out into the field, because, yeah, okay, so double protect comes from my opponent, that's fine. One thing we could do here potentially is bring in our Dusk Mane Necrozma. It's kind of a way to sack, because we need Incineroar for the Bronzong when that does make an appearance, if it does at all. We could Leaf Blade the Groudon as well. It's definitely a possibility. I think what I'll do is I'm gonna go for a U-turn into Groudon with Incineroar. I don't really... Okay, so that's fine. Ferrothorn coming out. Imagine if we just Flare Blitz that slot. So good. Probably see the Koko Volt Switch, I think. There we go. It's into the Incineroar. But And Groudon back in there? I mean, if Groudon comes back in there, that's ideal. I don't think it will, though. Maybe Kyogre, if they've not brought the Bronzong. Oh, it is Groudon. Huh. Okay, well, this is working out like super good for us right now because we get Kyogre in for free and we can just superpower Water Spout. Like superpower into the Ferrothorn and Water Spout, and that will get rid of the Ferrothorn. They're kind of forced to switch the Groudon out, so whatever comes in on that slot, unless it is Kyogre itself, then my opponent is losing it. So, I think, yeah, there's no... Ooh, what's that? Just leftovers. It's like for a minute I was like, is that like a seed? Like a late seed? That would have been a bit annoying. But well, yeah, like I said, just superpower into there and Water Spout. And a combination of both should be enough to pick up the KO on Ferrothorn. Now, we've not had any boosts with Lurantis, and it could be very close, but I'm kind of confident, I'm feeling confident that we get it. Groudon definitely switches out, 100% here. Like, one option we could have done as well is switch out our Kyogre into Incineroar. It's definitely something we could think about in this situation and just, like, try and preserve Kyogre as best as possible. Because, like, we take a power, if we don't KO the Ferrothorn here, we take a power whip, we lose Kyogre, and our match gets so much more difficult. So Groudon going out, Kyogre, ooh, Tapu Koko. Okay, I don't mind this either, because this thing is, okay, Ferrothorn protected. Better. I don't think my opponent's forced. It is Sash like we kind of expected. Nailing it today. Nailing it. So we're gonna see just yet. Okay. I think now is a good chance. I don't want to do I want to attack Lurantis? I could attack with Leaf Blade into the Tapu Koko slot and just bring in Incineroar on Kyogre. I think it'll maybe be the Bronzong as the last Pokemon. Just thinking. But like, because Kyogre would be the perfect switch in there. I know you're worried about the Lurantis maybe, throwing a Leaf Blade out. But at the same time, if you're my opponent, you've got to be wary that the Ferrothorn's a big threat for my side of the field. So I want to concentrate down on that, and knowing that Lurantis has... Oh, okay. It's Incineroar. We're going to get the boost, the mega boost. The Contrae attack boost, so that's really good. Leaf Blade's not so good. We were better off going for the superpower into the Ferrothorn slot, but it's fine. Power whip into Incineroar. Wow. Okay. Fine. And I think we just fake out and superpower into the Incineroar now. Could this be the day Lurantis just wins by itself? Obviously needs support, but we could, like, if we pick up 4 KOs with Lurantis here, then the title of the episode is all of yours, Lurantis, 100%. My opponent just thinking about, like our Incineroar has to outspeed theirs. I would think they probably have a slow Incineroar to help, like, operate a bit better in the Trick Room. So, see Ferrothorn switch out. We're going to see Groudon come back in. Groudon. It's going to bring the Sun. But if we can get the Fake out first and then the Super Part into the Incineroar, then... Excellent! Yes, and then we're going to get the Super Power boost. So we get another attack boost and another defensive boost, which makes it easier to deal with that Groudon. Because if it's got Fire Punch, even in the Sun, we should be alright. The electricity disappearing from the field. But Lurantis is super threatening right now. Really threatening to my opponent. We've still got to be a bit wary about the Groudon, for sure. And I'm kind of tempted just to almost sack Incineroar now and protect Lurantis, because I feel like the Groudon probably wants to go Fire Punch into that slot, so threatened. So I am going to protect it, and if I can get a U-turn into the Groudon, that's perfect. If not, then we probably lose Incineroar, but at the same time I don't mind that too much now because it gives us that free switch into the Kyogre again, and then the Ferrothorn we can predict coming in on the Groudon slot, more than likely, because they won't have weather control, so we could superpower Water Spout into that slot if we want, or knock off it into that slot. It might be just as good. But Lurantis stealing the show a little bit. Groudon going to go out for... Okay, that makes a lot of sense, because my opponent probably wants to preserve their weather as best as possible. What's Koko going to do? Thunder. Risky going for Thunder in the Sun. I mean, it makes sense. You want to get rid of the Incineroar and you probably expect the Kyogre to come in. You do get the Iron Barbs damage as well, which blocks our berry, makes everything so much easier. And I think we probably don't bring in Kyogre just yet. I don't think so. Now we'll bring in Necrozma. Because we can superpower now, like we're +2, we'll get the Ferrothorn with superpower for sure. And we can just attack into the Koko. There's no threat of the Koko actually taking out Lurantis at this point. And we'll just go for the Photon Geyser. Photon Geyser. Cool animation as well. There's Dazzle. Let's get some damage off. It's not very much though. Photon Geyser is going to pick up the kill into the Koko. And the superpower, like I say, should get the Ferrothorn. Yeah, and we'll get another defense and attack boost. So good. And then what we can do is bring in switching Kyogre for the Dusk Mane Necrozma, get the rain up, so the Fire Punch definitely isn't KOing us, and get the kill, the final 4th kill with Lurantis. So all going well, we should be able to do this. So Leaf Blade, Necrozma, come back. You did good. I'm just doing all of those trainer messages like we see in game. And then we'll throw out Kyogre. Whoop whoop. Get the rain up, and then we should begin. So Lurantis, unexpectedly putting in the work today. Amazing. Fire Punch. But like, what are we, +2? I should, that's Life Orb as well. Oh, I shouldn't laugh, I shouldn't laugh. I think it's kind of funny. That damage is like, did like 20 HP. Lurantis is the man. I'm sorry to my opponent. Very good game, but I hope if you watch this back at all, you find that funny as well. So Lurantis putting in the work. Amazing first episodes for us. It's been really good today. I've really enjoyed it. I hope, more importantly, that you guys have enjoyed it at home. We'll be back very soon. We are going to wrap things up here, so we'll be back with another episode very soon. Leave your comments and things down below. I'd really love to hear from you all. I love each and every one of your comments, and do remember, as always, I'm just going to say it again and again and again, you're going to get tired of me doing this. Leave a like, subscribe and all that. But have a great evening, afternoon, morning, night, whatever time of day it is, guys. I hope you take care of yourselves, and until next time, I'll see you then. So until then, bye bye.